Hey guys, my name is Tristan and I'm here with my good friend Ricky, and we have some information for you guys. Ricky, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I am a certified fitness trainer and a sports nutritionist. I've always been passionate about health and wellness, so we thought we would share some information with you about nutrition and
And health and wellness.
and wellness.
So Ricky, a lot of people don't eat breakfast, and that's I think a major problem, both for children and adults. Did you have some information on breakfast you'd like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Breakfast is, in my opinion, extremely important for adults and children alike. If you think of children, we'll start with children. A lot of the time they're rushed out the door without an adequate breakfast, and they're expected to get through school, they're expected to feel well, to feel healthy. But if you're not fueling yourself in the morning, you're not providing your body with energy to start your day, to start digesting your food, or to supply your brain with those nutrients that it needs to get you through the rest of the day.
Would you say that's more so important for kids because they're still developing and growing essentially daily versus adults, or is it similar in importance?
I think it's important for both, but if you're thinking of children, absolutely, they need to be provided with the nutrients first thing in the morning to get. I have to be out the door with my daughter by 7 a.m. So the easiest and simplest breakfast that we do is rolled oats. So we just cook it in hot water for 10 minutes, add a little bit of stevia and even some chia seeds. They really like that. It's just getting the healthy fats in there with the low glycemic carbohydrates. Eggs are also very quick. You can scramble up eggs really, really quickly with some whole grain toast. Try to stay away from juice or milk just because there's a lot of sugar in the juice and milk, and stick with almond milk, coconut milk. There's just a lot more calcium in it.
What are your thoughts with, I know a lot of these cereals today, and I'm certainly guilty of it when I was a kid, really eating a lot of cereal that was probably high in sugar. Is there any advice you could give parents on that?
Look for a cereal that's high in fiber and low in sugar. So if you're going to read the ingredients list, which is extremely important, make sure sugar is at least 5 ingredients away from the first ingredient. But make sure that the fiber is high, anywhere between 4 and 5 grams of fiber per serving. So I don't like cereal. It's very processed. It does contain a lot of sugar, but definitely go with something that is organic if you can find organic. The grains are going to be a lot less processed, and they're going to be healthier for your children and for yourself. Yeah.
Okay, and then moving on, but still kind of keeping within the realm of breakfast, Ricky, what would you have to say for adults, maybe trying to lose a few pounds, or whether it's sports nutrition or trying to pack on muscle? What is the importance of breakfast for, we're already grown up, we're making our own decisions at this point. What do you have to say about breakfast there?
Well, studies have shown that if you skip breakfast, you're more inclined to eat a higher sugar diet throughout the rest of the day. And people will actually consume more calories. So if you eat breakfast, it's going to keep your blood sugar levels stable, it's going to keep you satisfied longer, and you're not going to be having those cravings throughout the day. So from a weight loss perspective, definitely include breakfast. A really easy option, especially if you're on the run, is having a smoothie. You can put some fruit in there, some coconut oil, a little bit of milk, coconut milk, and some protein powder, and it's just a really good balanced start to your morning.
When you're thinking about what we're going to be eating throughout the day, is it something that you would advise we maybe take a look at the night before, so that we have time to kind of put together a balanced lunch versus trying to rush in the morning, which I'm sure most adults are today?
Absolutely. Plan it out the night before, or even better yet is if you pick one day a week, Sunday for example, and cook up a whole bunch of portions. Cook up some lean chicken, you can even cook up some lean portions of beef, or boil some eggs, and then you have it in your fridge, and it's really easy to grab and go. So the night before, you know that you're going out to work, grab a little cooler and pack your portions in your cooler so that you can take it with you. This helps to reduce any type of temptations that you have to eat out, because you're never going to be stuck without something to eat when you're hungry.
Let alone you can save some money that way as well.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of the guys at work have quite the budgets for fast food, so that's a double benefit.
Yes.
I've heard a few things, and I just want you to clarify whether they're fact or myth. So for people that are trying to lose weight, eating more frequent meals throughout the day, now it sounds contradictory to what they may assume if they're not educated on the subject, but can that help you increase metabolism and lose some weight by eating more frequent during the day?
It absolutely can, and this is because it depends on the food that you're eating and the size of the meals that you're having, because you don't want to eat more of the bad things. You want to make sure that you're getting in more fruits, more vegetables, and that you're eating them in smaller portions throughout the day, about every 3 hours. So you would be getting 5 to 6 small meals each day, and it just helps to keep you full, helps to keep the cravings away, stabilizes your blood sugar, and helps your body burn fat more efficiently.
Oh, so it's something to consider for sure. Now, I'm sure a lot of people watching this are going to be saying, you know what, Ricky, that all sounds great, but every now and then I'm going to need a hamburger. What are your thoughts on maybe balancing out those cheat days, if that's what you call them, or what are your thoughts on that subject?
Yeah, I think that everybody deserves a reward for staying on track and eating well, and it's actually really good for your metabolism to have a cheat meal every once in a while. I wouldn't do it more than twice a week, especially if you're starting out on a weight loss program, just because it will trigger cravings if you're not set up for it. But definitely reward yourself and have a treat once or twice a week.
Excellent. If you were to tell people about portion sizing, I know that's a very important piece that may often be overlooked when people are considering their diets. We all get hyped up on what to eat, but if you're eating way too much of it, can that be a problem? And what are your thoughts on portion sizing for adults and children, I suppose?
Okay, for children, it's really keeping the portions very small. Children won't sit long enough to eat a large meal, so snack-sized portions for children are really good. Just a little bit on their plate. If they're hungry after, they can always have more. And feed children quite frequently throughout the day.
Yeah.
With adults, your hands are your best tools.
Okay.
So for men, for a protein portion, it would be 2 palm-sized hands
Okay.
per meal.
Okay.
For women, it's just 1 palm-sized hand.
And that's protein, just to
For
clarify?
protein,
Okay.
yep. For carbohydrates, so this would be rice or potatoes, or if you choose to have pasta, it's 1 cupped hand,
Okay.
equivalent to about half a cup
And is that after being cooked or before?
after.
After. Okay,
After
just to
cooked.
clarify.
Yep. A fruit will fit in the palm of your hand, and 1 serving is 1 palm.
Okay.
Vegetables are unlimited, so have as many vegetables as you possibly can.
So, with more options than ever before today available in our supermarkets, what do you think the value of eating organic would be, Ricky? Do you have any opinion on that?
Yeah, I think organic is very important. I know that it's not a feasible means for many people, but you have to pick and choose which fruits and vegetables or meats that you choose to be organic. And the reason why it's important is if you think of an apple and it's been sprayed with pesticides, while that apple is growing, it doesn't have to use its own defense mechanisms to protect itself. Therefore, it doesn't produce as many antioxidants, which are vital for immune function, for just to protect us against disease.
Yep.
So if you choose an organic fruit, it's going to have that defense system already inside of it, and then as we eat it, it's going to nurture our bodies that way. The same with organic meats and organic meats and dairy
Vegetables.
and vegetables. The same thing is if it's not organic, it's not producing as much nutrition for ourselves as it could be.
Well, and not to mention our bodies have been eating that way for forever and ever. It's just recently
Right.
that we've gone to this type of production for those types of foods. So that's good information. Now, with regards to sugar, now I know for a lot of kids, they I'm sure would fret the idea of giving it up, but the reality is can be a bit harsh on sugar, and can you elaborate a bit on that for children and I guess likely in adults as well?
Yes, sugar is very highly addictive, and if you were to think of it as cocaine, which is extracted from the coca leaf and highly, highly processed, it's a very dangerous substance.
Yeah.
Sugar is extracted and processed very, very similarly. So again, it's a very addictive substance, and it causes a lot of free radical damage inside the body. So it affects our immune system, it affects all different types of our health, not to mention the addictive quality it has. So when we're giving that to our children, first thing in the morning and throughout the day, it's causing all different types of reactions in their behavior, their learning abilities, just everything. So I think it is very important to eliminate it in any way that you possibly can.
Now, I don't have kids myself, but I can see this question coming up, Ricky. How do you answer this when your kids say, well, Mom, so-and-so always gets this, that, or candy all the time? What are you going to say to your kids when that comes up? Because I'm sure it would.
And it does. And I tell them what sugar does to their body. And for example, my daughter has some behavioral issues, and I know that there are certain candies or certain treats that trigger these actions, and I make her aware of it, and I'll tell her, well, you can't have this because this is what it does to you. And I think having that conversation with your children is important because it makes them aware that there are other options out there that they can choose, and then they learn which variety of fruits and vegetables that they like. So finding other ways to reward your children for things as well. It doesn't always have to be food, which causes a lot of emotional issues later on down the road.
Yeah, just seeing food as a reward and things of that nature. So moving on to adults. Now I can say from being in the car business, I see this a lot. A lot of the guys drink these energy drinks. Now they're very high in sugar. They're rich in caffeine as well. Well, what are your thoughts on stuff like that? And I'm guilty of this as well. I try to watch, but I do have them from time to time. So elaborate.
I say avoid them. I think they're very, very dangerous because people are having heart attacks from them. It's causing issues with blood. There's a new syndrome called sticky blood syndrome where people are dying from I don't like them. When you're putting that much caffeine into your body along with that much sugar, anything can go wrong with your heart, with just the way that you react. I think it's just a very dangerous combination.
Yeah, I see a lot of the guys have what are typical sugar crashes. You know, it's almost redundant to take an energy drink only to crash an hour later. So as a quick segue from that, what are some nice natural sources of energy that a guy maybe or a girl in an office setting could use for some quick energy? Did you have any advice on that subject?
Yeah, well, if you're already eating regularly, if you're fueling your body every 3 hours, your natural energy sources are going to go up inside your body. And some things that you can consider are green tea. Green tea is a very clean way to get energy in your body. And what else can you do?
I often advise guys trail mix and things like that. They're a great source of energy. It's tasty as well. So
and you can slip in some dark chocolate in there just a little bit as a treat.
Fair enough. So you advise against the energy drinks. Fair enough.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on coffee, Ricky? I know a lot of the guys, and same thing. I hate to use the same example twice, but it seems like my whole industry runs on coffee. Coffee in the morning, coffee in the day, coffee in the night. What are your thoughts?
I think coffee is okay in moderation. Different people react differently to it. So for some people, it's going to act as a stimulant, and it's going to have decent health effects. And it's an antioxidant. For other people, it has a negative effect on their system. So just being in touch with yourself and what works for you, but I wouldn't have more than 2 cups a day. It does get you dependent on the caffeine. If anything is forming an addiction inside your body, then I say stay away from it. But a little bit of coffee early in the morning is okay.
Yeah, okay. Moving back and switching gears back to children here. Now, are a lot of kids having some issues with this food that's now so processed? I'm sure the most processed it's ever been.
Yes.
Are there any issues kids are having there?
There's a lot more allergies creeping up, a lot of peanut allergies, dairy allergies. There's a lot of it, and a lot of it is coming from the way that our food is processed and the chemicals and the hormones that have been put into our food. Even things that they're more frequently genetically modified, which means that they've just changed the food. Our body doesn't recognize it as food. It can't digest it properly. So it's causing a lot of behavioral reactions and just lots of allergies, and a lot of the doctors are stumped. They don't understand what it is, so they prescribe drugs or whatever it is, which is not fixing the problem.
So if you were to touch base now, we're just talking about things that are processed. I have a lot of questions from friends of mine that are athletes regarding supplementation. Now, that's maybe something that's not naturally occurring. However, I see the value in it. I mean, it's hard to get enough protein from your diet sometimes. What are your thoughts on maybe a young athlete that's concerned or has some questions about what they should be putting into their body to stay at the top of their game?
I strongly recommend a well-balanced multivitamin. Always finding something that's pharmaceutical grade, because then there's no question about how much is in the supplement. You know that it's regulated and it's monitored. So that is going to make up where the deficiencies come from, especially if they're an athlete and they're training hard. Those nutrients are going to make up what their diet is lacking. I also believe in taking a fish oil supplement that is very, very clean and pure, again, pharmaceutical grade, because that's going to help reduce inflammation. It's going to help with brain health, with joint health, with heart health. So that's very important. If you're looking at a protein supplement, finding a powder that is very clean, free from artificial sweeteners. So that means no sucralose, no aspartame. You
all
want
the stuff we think makes us tasty, right?
Exactly. So finding something that's sweetened with stevia or xylitol. And when you look at the ingredients list, you want it to be a very small ingredients list. You don't want it to have a whole list of things in it, a whole bunch of chemicals or preservatives. You want it to be very, very clean. Now there's 2 different types of of protein that I would recommend, you can either go with a whey protein or a vegetarian protein. So if you're dairy sensitive, go with the vegetarian protein. But if you can handle your dairy, go with the whey. It just both work very, very well.
Okay. Ricky, you had mentioned omegas 3, 6, and 9 for adults. How are they important for children?
Well, if you think of if you think of a brain is made up of 98% omega-3 fat. And if a child or an adult is not getting that fat, the brain has to pull it from somewhere else. And it slows down brain processes and connections and everything. So if you give your child omega-3 fat, it's going to improve their brain health. So we see a lot of children in school with attention deficit disorder and
very common.
And just a lot of learning issues, and it's really easy for teachers and doctors to recommend putting them on a drug, but it's not solving the problem. And a lot of the time, if you give them an omega-3 supplement, it's going to help improve their behavior, it's going to calm them down. And I see this firsthand with my daughter. She actually, in school, she's just very hyperactive, and when I increase her omega-3 consumption, she calms right down to the point that we can read together, her behavior in school improves and her learning ability improves.
Oh,
So it's so important. Definitely talk to your doctor about the right dose for your child, but I think it's a very, very good option.
Now, I know the omegas come in a couple different types. You can get simply 3s or a combination of 3s, 6s, and 9s, or 6s and 9s. Could you demystify that a little bit?
I would go first and foremost to a pure fish oil supplement.
Okay.
And then you can also add things into their diet such as flaxseed oil, coconut oil. All of these are going to help. It just takes the body longer to change it into omega-3, which is what you get from fish oil.
Okay. If we were to sit down, or maybe somebody's watching this for the first time, or you were sitting down with one of your clients for the first time and they're just starting to take an interest in their health and wellness, what would be some starting out tips, or kind of getting that ball rolling? What would be some information you'd like to pass on to those people?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's important to have a goal in mind. And our goals are what pull us forward and lead us forward, and then they keep you focused. So definitely think about why you're getting on a healthy program, because if you're not doing it for yourself, you're not going to do it long term. Then think about what you're eating. For a lot of my clients, I recommend that they write down everything that they've been eating.
Including drink?
Including drink.
Okay.
And it gives you a clear picture of what you're putting in your body and how often you're eating. And from there, you can take an objective look at it, or take it to a nutritionist who can look at it objectively and give you some tips and recommendations on how to put in some healthier options. One of the first things I would recommend is to increase your water consumption to at least 2 to 3 liters a day. 2 liters if you're a lady, 4 liters, 3 liters if you're a man. And get in more fruits and vegetables. So try to have a vegetable at every meal, or a fruit about twice a day. So I would say 6 to 8 servings of vegetables and 2 to 3 servings of fruit.
I've heard a good tip for people just starting out is to maybe set a timer on their desk at work or their phone, just to remind them, because if you're not eating 6 to 8 times a day, it can seem a bit much and you can forget. Is that something you would recommend?
Yep, and I still do it. I put a timer on my phone because we get busy, our lives get busy, we're doing things, we're working. So it's always good to have a reminder, and it just gives you the opportunity to stop whatever you're doing and just sit down and eat peacefully and mindfully.
One question now, my brother might get a kick of this if he watches this. He used to eat very quickly. You know, I would be halfway through my meal by the time he was already done his, and on to seconds. Now, do you have any advice for parents or kids or people that are neither parents nor kids about how fast they should be eating? You know, because the brain needs to know you're eating. Is that correct?
That's right. And it's not only that we do need to slow it down, because we're so quick to do anything and we just want to get it over and done with and get on with our day. But slow it down and chew your food, because that is the first process of digestion. And when you chew your food, you're helping to break it down. When you chew your food, you help to break it down so it's easier for the stomach to digest it and then absorb the nutrients from it. So that would be the biggest reason to slow it down. And then from a weight loss perspective, you definitely want to take the time to eat so that your brain has time to realize that you are full, so that you don't overeat. But even with kids, have them slow down, have them chew their food, and it'll benefit them. They'll reap the benefits of the nutrients inside it.
Elaborating quickly on that, what is the number one or the top two, say, types of foods that can help you feel full? Now I know, people may not understand some of the terms like proteins and high fiber type foods, but what are your thoughts on that? Things that will actually make you feel full after you've eaten.
Yeah, well, it helps to drink water before you eat. Always drink it before.
Okay.
1 to 2 cups, and then fiber. High fiber foods are very helpful. So you get fiber in things like whole grains, in your oatmeal. You can even add chia seeds, which are a great and high source of fiber, very, very high in omega-3s as well, and or omega-6. And those things are going to keep you full because they slow down the digestive process.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do is always pair a fat or a protein with your meal, because again, it slows down the process of digestion.
Now, for somebody that's maybe just starting out, or say you're 3 months in or 6 months in, but kind of early on, it's not quite a lifestyle yet, what are some realistic expectations you can have as far as, either way, say somebody's trying to lose weight or add lean muscle, what are some realistic timelines and goals you can expect to see people achieve?
I think give yourself the first 6 weeks before you see any real results, whether you're trying to gain or lose, because it takes that long for the body just to kind of catch up to what changes that you're making. And then realistically, if you're losing weight, 2 pounds, 1 to 2 pounds a week is safe, and that way your skin and everything has time to catch up to the pounds that are coming off, and it lowers the risk of gaining that weight back after you start a maintenance program. With muscle gain, I think it's a little bit slower. I think again 1 to 2 pounds every couple weeks is a good goal to have.
Yeah. Just a healthy way to do it versus trying to, because like you'd mentioned earlier, we certainly want everything to be immediate today, so it's important to realize that it may take some time.
Well, it took you that long to look like what you are now, and it's going to take some time to get you to where you want to be.
And this is a common pitfall I've seen over the years with friends of mine that I've maybe helped with some training. Now, it's very hard to see a positive gain, whether you're trying to lose or gain weight, but it's very easy, it seems, would you agree, to slip the other way? Now what are your thoughts on that? I mean, if it's 1 to 2 pounds every 2 weeks to gain, and you can lose it very, very quickly, I mean, what are some things you would use as a tip yourself to stay motivated, is I guess my question.
Well, definitely set goals. I read somewhere for workouts, for example, just to stay active, or even with your meals, have a jar, and every time you eat a compliant meal or every time you get in a workout, put some money in the jar. And then at the end of the month, you can take that money and reward yourself with something you've been hoping to get. Try not to reward yourself with food unless you have a scheduled treat meal. But definitely set goals. Have an event that you're going to. Book a vacation at the end of the year. Keep yourself motivated through that, and definitely align yourself with people who are going to cheer you on and encourage you and keep you motivated and keep you moving forward.
Now, just to change gears once more, now the importance of things like water. We get into some people. I have a coworker who on the tee every day he drinks a bottle of pop, same time every day. Now I would love to see him switch to water, but is that the case? I'm not sure if I can convince him. But what are your thoughts on water consumption daily? How much, and what are some of the benefits, if you could?
Our body is made primarily of water, and water helps with all of our cellular processes. It helps with digestion. It helps with everything. Every function in our body relies on water. And if you are dehydrated, it decreases your performance. So it affects your mental capabilities. It affects the way that you are in the gym, your output, everything, by quite a big number. And it's very, very dangerous as well. So if you're trying to lose weight, one of the first things I would do is increase your water, and you can do this by slowly increasing your water through the day. So start with adding 1 cup of water before each meal, and then add a little bit more. And this is going to help flush the toxins out of your body. It's going to help naturally detoxify your system, and it's just a really good habit to get into because we need that water to help us stay healthy, active, and energized.
Now, water, I believe, can also help lubricate the joints as well. So
Yes.
if you have any type of nagging injuries with joint pain, it could be as simple as just adding enough
Absolutely.
water to your diet. So it also helps, I believe, with helping the fiber pass through us as well.
Yes.
So very important to watch that water consumption. So Just to wrap up for us guys, I really appreciate you watching, and hopefully you learned something good. I'm going to place Ricky's contact info in the description below, so if you have any further questions about nutrition or any training type questions, feel free to contact her. And from both of us here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a great day.